Hello, 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 and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. Joining me today is Justin McGovern. If you're new to Updog Sports Talk, we are in the middle of our 40 videos in 40 days to get all of our NFL previews out, so you can see what we think about them, how we break them down and everything. But we are a sports show that represents the little guy. So the Jaguars of the world, the Cardinals of the world, going to college football, the UTRGV Vaqueros of the world.
Yeah.
We represent the little guy. We make sure that to shed some light on everybody as much as we can, and we do talk about the top, like the LeBrons and the Tom Brady's and everything like that all the big networks talk about, but we don't spend every waking moment talking about them. We bring other teams into the equation. So on that note, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Seattle Seahawks. Dude, the Seahawks kind of just, in the middle of the night, shoved everyone out and brought in a whole cast of new people.
That's a great summary for their offseason strategy.
I mean, you have JSN, who's going to be their clear-cut number one. They shoved DK out the door when he wanted $100 million. You bring in Cooper Kupp, you bring in Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Now you have actually a solid receiving core. Jake Bobo showed that he could do stuff. Torrey Horton, Ricky White III, both solid names, very underrated. They just got shoved down to the late rounds. They got Gray Zabel. I think he's a huge pickup for them. So I want to see a little bit more on this offensive line, but I think it's definitely headed in the right direction. You have Sam Darnold hitting the age that Aaron Rodgers did when he first started in the NFL. So, made his first starts in the NFL.
It feels like Sam Darnold's been around forever. I cannot
Forever,
believe.
dude. When you think about it, he's only 27 or 28. That's not that old. He probably has, if he can play like he did last year, he probably has another 7-8 years.
Yeah, it's very possible.
They've got a really deep running back core. Defensively, I don't really think defense has been much of a problem, but now you bring in DeMarcus Lawrence. They just signed Shaq Griffin the other day. Nick Emwari, huge pickup in the draft. Riley Mills, really good pickup. Coming off of injuries, so I think they got him with a steal. Just want to see how he comes back from that injury. But they're doing everything right. They were in contention. They shoved everybody out the door, brought in new people, and I still think they can be in contention.
Yeah, I think, some of it was a little bit confusing just because on one hand, you're kicking a lot of guys out. It almost felt like they were sort of doing a whole redo of this whole thing. And then you kind of make some signings where it's like, okay, not quite. We're not quite resetting, but we're also, it just felt like a stagnant offseason as a result of that, but maybe it'll work out. Maybe they're going for some guys who are going to fit the offense better. It just, you look at a guy like Cooper Kupp, who is definitely at the tail end of his career, and you would have thought he would have signed more of a Super Bowl contender than the Seahawks.
He's from up there, so it doesn't necessarily super surprise me. Yeah. He already has the ring, so maybe at this point he just wants to play in front of his family. I can see that being the case. But I like what they did. They brought in Elijah Arroyo, and I think him and Fant can be a good dual tight end set. You have a few names in receiver that you can keep the offense going. You don't have I wouldn't say JSN is super elite yet, but he has shown flashes of what he could be. If Sam Darnold can have him be the number one and he can show that he can do it, I think this team can do a lot this season, a lot more than what people think.
Yeah. And looking at this draft, I really enjoyed what they put together with the draft here. Like, Gray Zabel was a huge pick in the first round, helping this offensive line. We'll talk about the offensive line a little bit in the next section. But he was a very good pick. They try to address the tight end position with Elijah Arroyo. Usually takes rookies a little bit of time to get it going, but I think he could eventually become a huge contributor for them. You mentioned Nick Emanuori. I'm having a hard time pronouncing that, but he was a really good pickup for the secondary. And I really did enjoy some of these late round picks here. You look at Torrey Horton, kind of fell a little bit because he spent a lot of this past year hurt with Colorado State. Very good pickup. He is extremely good. He could be a guy in the future. Ricky White is definitely a guy in the future. He was a dog at UNLV, and at least early on, he's also going to bring a huge plus in special teams. I believe he led college football in blocked punts last year. Nice. So watch for him to make an impact in that department. At a minimum, he's going to make an impact there. But I think eventually you'll start to see him get involved in the offense as well. And yeah, I don't know about the Jalen Milroe pick. You know, he's an athlete. You're trying to recreate the whole Jalen Hurts thing with him here. I don't know if he's ever going to be a quarterback, though.
No, I mean you do have a good athlete with him.
Yeah.
So like if you want to move him to receiver or running back or whatever, like he has probably running back because he's a really good runner. But I think what their plan is right now is to try to mold him into a quarterback because maybe the money you just gave Sam Darnold doesn't work out. And Drew Lock, maybe you don't have a whole lot of faith in Drew Lock either. Jalen Milroe could be a tear it down type of scenario where you throw him out there, try to get him some experience and see where it goes. I think,
but I definitely am scared of that pick just because, like, you know, even if we take the Jalen Hurts route for a moment here, he was with Nick Saban for a bit, had him coach, you know, the way that helped him win games. Didn't need him to be a quarterback. He was a good enough athlete. Then he goes to, eventually though, he does get replaced and goes to Oklahoma. Becomes more of a quarterback under Lincoln Riley. And that kind of set him up a little bit better heading the NFL. You look at Milroe's situation, he ended up with an offensive-minded coach in Kalen DeBoer to get developed and play the quarterback position better. We just saw that him coach Michael Penix so well. And it just never clicked for him. He still struggles with a lot of the mental part of the game, reading defenses and stuff like that. Like his last two games were a total mess, to be honest. Against Oklahoma and Michigan. It was a disaster. So, and that was the end of it. That was the end of his time with DeBoer. Like, even at the end of the season, it never really clicked for him. So, we'll see how that pick goes. That's probably my one complaint about their draft. But let's kind of dive into, we kind of hinted at some of them already, but weaknesses, I mean, we probably have to start off with the offensive line because it was rated dead last in the NFL last year.
Yes, bad. Gray Zabel's going to help, but he and Charles Cross can't do it alone. So they got to get this figured out a little bit. I mean, you got some late round guys. Hopefully they can turn into something, but late round offensive linemen hardly ever pan out. Yeah,
I think Abraham Lucas is pretty decent as well. I think where your weakness is at is center and guard. Your tackle situation is actually kind of decent. I want to shout out Michael Jarrell, former Findlay player. Made it from Division II to the NFL. He's in his second year. Maybe we'll get to see him continue to develop. I think I like that guy. We look at the rest. I think I like what they have with the rest of the offense. Tight end. It's kind of hard to believe that Noah Fant is still here.
Yeah.
He showed up when? This was with the whole Russell Wilson trade.
Yeah.
He's like still here.
Yeah.
He's still here, but the problem is it's so quiet that hardly anyone has noticed.
he'll get some good tight end targets out of you, or red zone targets for you. But I mean, like, I haven't heard his name in the middle of the field in a long time. Not what he used to do. So, but I think that's why they got Arroyo. So now you got some competition there.
Yeah. I think, though, I mean, for the next part, we just had to transition right to strengths because you look at this defense. This defense is stacked.
Really good, dude. But everyone forgets Byron Murphy's there. Leonard Williams is there. Jaron Reed is there again. They brought in Ernest Jones a couple years ago. And then you look at the secondary. It's Josh Jobe, Julian Love, Kobe Bryant, Tyreek Rulon, Devin Witherspoon, Nick Emenworry, now Shaq Griffin. Like, they're pretty deep in the secondary.
Yeah,
Like,
you may not confuse it for the Legion of Boom or anything, but this is a pretty good secondary.
yes. And having a defensive-minded head coach just helps that much more too with this defense.
This is why this team quietly hung in the playoff race all year. It's because of the defense. Because the defense is really good.
And maybe their offense gets a little bit better this year under Darnold. So that we'll wait to see that. But I mean, like, I think this team has a lot to be excited about this year.
Yeah. I don't think we can rule the Seahawks out from this division.
Follow us at Updog Sports Talk. Like, subscribe, comment. You can find us on social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok. Yeah, those are the main ones. Obviously, YouTube for shorts and stuff and our videos. You can also listen to us, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. So we'll catch you next time. Again, we are not live during the summer. We are going to recorded videos. So we'll keep pumping those out, and we'll see you guys next fall.
Our next live episode will be during football season. We're almost there.
Yes, almost there. Well, we'll see you guys next time.